All right, hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into an idea from theoretical physics that is, frankly, mind-bending. It's called vacuum field theory, and it's this incredible attempt to describe everything, literally everything you see, with just one single elegant concept.
So the whole thing kicks off with this really radical question. We're taught that there are these four separate forces that run the entire universe. But what if that's not the full story? What if it's all an illusion, and they're just different faces of the exact same thing?
So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at those four forces we think we know so well. Then, we're going to meet the single, fundamental field that this theory says is the bedrock of reality. We'll check out its source code, see how those familiar forces pop out of it, and then, at the end, we'll see what this new, truly unified universe actually looks like.
Okay, so let's start on familiar ground. For a long, long time, this is how physics has described the universe, as a place governed by these four distinct interactions. For centuries, right, we've treated these as totally separate things. Gravity is what holds you to the Earth, electromagnetism is what's lighting up your screen right now, and the strong and weak forces are doing the heavy lifting inside every single atom of your body. But having four different rule books for how the universe works, it's always felt a little clunky, a little unsatisfying. And physicists have been dreaming of a single theory that could unite them all. And that is exactly where vacuum field theory walks onto the stage. It suggests we take those four different rule books and replace them with just one. Get this. According to VFT, the only thing that's truly real is something called the vacuum field. And it's not empty space, it is space. It's time, it's everything in between. Every particle, every force you can think of is just a different ripple, a different behavior of this one single cosmic ocean.
And what's wild is how simple this field is at its core. It basically has two properties. First, an amplitude. You can just think of that as the energy, or maybe the depth of the field at any given point. And then it has a phase, which is like the rhythm or the pattern of waves moving across its surface. And that's it. The whole universe boiled down to depth and rhythm.
So you're probably asking, okay, how do you get an entire universe out of just depth and rhythm? Well, the key is that the field can't just do whatever it wants. Its behavior is guided by one master set of rules.
VFT calls this the master action. You can think of it like the universe's source code. Now, don't worry, we're not going to get bogged down in the complex math. What's really important is understanding what this one single rule actually allows the field to do.
So what are its powers? Well, for starters, its energy, its amplitude, actually curves space-time. Bam! There's gravity. Second, it controls how its own internal waves and patterns talk to each other. That's going to be the foundation for the other forces. And third, and this is the really mind-blowing part, it can literally tie itself into these tiny, stable knots of concentrated energy. And what do we call those knots? We call them particles. That's matter, right there.
Okay, so we have one field, one rulebook, and it's already given us gravity and all the matter in the universe. But what about the other three forces? How do they come out of this same exact field?
Well, here's the secret. The forces aren't actually different things. They are just different modes of behavior for the field's phase. It's wave patterns. Think about water, right? It can be a gentle flowing river, it can be a crashing wave on the shore, or it can be solid ice. It's all just water, just behaving in different ways based on the condition.
And this table right here, this is where it all clicks into place. Look at this. When the field's phase has a simple, totally unrestricted pattern, something physicists call U1, what you get is electromagnetism. But when you start putting restrictions on that pattern, making it a bit more complex, like this SU2 type, the behavior totally changes, and now you've got the short-range weak force. You make the pattern even more complex to the point where it's knotting up in an SU3 way, and boom, that's the strong force, the one that glues atomic nuclei together. And gravity? Well, gravity isn't a phase behavior at all. It's the overall curvature of the entire field. It's the stage itself that's bending. It's just so cool. One field, four totally different results.
So let's just step back for a moment and take in the absolutely massive picture this theory is painting for us.
I mean, really, it all boils down to this single, powerful statement. There aren't four forces. There's just one field. The forces we see are just symptoms. They're side effects of a single, much deeper reality.
So to put it all together, what we call electromagnetism is really just the field's phase being totally free. The weak force is that same phase, but now it's restricted. The strong force is that phase tying itself into knots. And gravity is the global shape of the entire field. It's just an unbelievably elegant way to look at everything.
And that leaves us with one final fascinating question to just chew on. If everything we know, the chair you're sitting in, the light from your screen, the very fabric of space and time, if it's all just different behaviors of a single unified field, then what is reality really? What are we, if not just incredibly complex, persistent patterns rippling across a cosmic ocean?